There was once someone who did such amazing things and said such wonderful things, the people had to ask who he really was. Once when they asked, he said, "I am the light." I see the love of God in you, the light of Christ comes shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. The one that said, "I am the light," changed to be in all places at all times. You see this light? How it's just in one place? Let's change the light. Look, the light's changed. It's growing. It's becoming invisible. It's filling the room with the light of Christ. As you go about this room today, know that the light is there. And as you leave this room today, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go. Now watch carefully, so you always know where to find today's lesson. This be? The people of God went to Jerusalem, to the promised land. When David became king, he collected all of the people of God from the north and the south into one group. He took Jerusalem from the Jebusite people and called it the City of David. David and the people of God began to live in Jerusalem, but something was missing. It was the ark. David and his army went to go get the ark. When they brought the ark in through the great high gate, King David danced before it. They set up the tent of meeting and put the ark inside. David was not allowed to build a house for God because he was a man of war. His son Solomon would build the temple. Of all the people had to help to build the temple, some went to the north to Lebanon to cut down and bring home great cedar trees. They cut stones of the mountains nearby and prepared the wood and stone and began. The temple began to grow, and the people were amazed. There was a great hall for people to come close to God and an inner room called the Holy of Holies, which was for the ark. The high priest entered only on the day of the holiest day of the year. The temple was beautiful, with carvings of olive wood and gold. The great timbers of cedar made it smell wonderful, like this one. Inside the temple were the same things that helped them to get ready to meet God when they were in the desert. The ark was carried inside by the priests. Here is the incense burner. Fragrant smoke filled the temple as the incense burned. Here is the table, with bread for each of the 12 tribes on it. And finally, here is the menorah, with its 7 branches and lamps burning. One day, the priests first carried, on the day that the priests first carried the ark inside, a great cloud of dazzling light filled the temple. God was there. In front of the temple was an altar that had been in front of the tent, and now it was bigger. The same was true for the great basin of water, the laver. On the day that all was ready, the king came before all the people and prayed. He said, "O Lord God of Israel, there is no God like thee, in heaven above or on earth beneath, keeping covenant and showing steadfast love to thy servants who walk before thee with their heart. But will God indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, heaven and the highest heaven cannot contain thee. How much less this house which I have built, yet have regard to the prayer of thy servant and to his." He asked God to allow God's name to abide in the temple. He asked God to make this the place for people to come to pray and to find justice. Solomon ruled well and was wise. Some say that he was wiser than anyone in the world. His father had been famous for his songs and war, but Solomon was famous for his wise sayings and the temple. Finally, after being king for 40 years, Solomon died and was buried in the city of David, where his father was buried and Solomon's son was made king. I wonder, what was your favorite part of the story? And I wonder if you see yourself in this story. I wonder, is there anything we can take out and still have everything that we need? I wonder, will you think of this story today? Or maybe another story. But whatever you do, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go.